Ayori Cecily actually is an entrepreneur, patent and inventor of Life Model Canvas. She's an expert in the field of artificial intelligence and an advocate for ethical use of technology. Ayori founded Bullforce, the fastest growing affinity group at Salesforce, and has held roles as a product management, marketing, and solution engineering for Einstein AI and Salesforce platform. Please welcome Ayori Cecily.
You're there, Ayori? Why don't you go ahead and start your video?
Yeah, it says I can't start it. Can you hear me though?
We can hear you.
All right, now you see my video.
We see you now. Thank you.
What's up?
Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Oaktown Dreaming.
Hey there.
Thank you, Sybil, for the introduction. Thank you,
You're
Mike,
welcome.
and to everyone who pulled this event together. I feel so warm to be able to share on this stage in my home, along with all the other incredible speakers, Sarah, Leah, and everyone else. I'm so excited. I'm going to be tuned in all day. So I hope everyone else is joining, that you'll be tuned in as well. I appreciate you for sharing your very valuable time with us. So I am excited for this session. This session is perfect for you if you have any concerns about the uncertainty in our future. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Yes, we're going to be talking about using AI to thrive in uncertain times. So if you want to be a part of making the world better, while you live your best life, and if you're curious about the ways that AI can help you and all of us, then this is the right place for you. So as Sybil mentioned, I'm Ayori Selassie. I'm a senior manager of product marketing. I am currently running Salesforce data services for Heroku. Formerly, I ran product marketing for Einstein. So you're going to hear a lot of Einstein today, but also know that everything here, there's an underpinning of data and the power of data. So the next time I give this session, you'll hear me talk a little bit more about data and the power of tools like Heroku, so you can get that dev cred on. All right, so I'm worried a little bit about time here because I didn't time my session. So let's see how we do it. Keep me honest, folks. All right, so we are going to be talking about a little bit of product today. So please make sure you make your purchasing decisions based on what's currently available in the product. I might be making some forward-looking statements. All right, so let's talk a little bit about me. I'm here because I built my career by helping executives, founders, and selfpreneurs who want to innovate in their life and business so that they can thrive in uncertain times like the times that we are in today. I am also a mother of 2 humans, a toddler and a teenager, and sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between the two, and that's okay, because that's how it is. And I'm also a mother of bots. So as you know, I love AI, I love data. I'm an expert in good AI, and I've been in this space of both AI and data for over 20 years. It's been an amazing journey, and I've been with Salesforce for 13 of those years. And as Sybil mentioned, I am the creator of Life Model Design, and you can learn more about that at lifemodeldesign.com. And as we look toward the future, I am also an evangelist for human AI symbiosis. So feel free to ask me a little bit more about that later, because I will go on and on. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm born and bred in Oakland, California. Okay, town business. Yeah, so love Oakland. Okay, so we're here today because, as you all know, we're facing unprecedented social disruption. My heart goes out to everyone who is impacted by the struggles that we're facing as a society today. Know that I feel you, I'm with you, and I'm doing everything that I can to be a part of what's good in this world. And I am honored that you're joining me here today, so that we can join forces by using AI and data. Now, just to talk a little bit about how we got here, You know, the history of this country, the United States of America, is unfortunately steeped in injustice, where the measure of freedom originally only applied to white men. I know, crazy, but hey, I didn't make it, I just run around in it. But when this nation was founded, all women were excluded, were considered property, right? Couldn't own property. People of African ancestry were excluded. The autochthonous people of this land, the indigenous people, were excluded. And as time went on, that exclusion turned into racial and gender terrorism, sometimes overt, sometimes mundane microaggressions, but always, always traumatic. And the trauma of Oscar, George, Brianna, Ahmaud, and countless other names has recently triggered a reckoning of the systemic and institutional and strategic racism that has shaped our world of inequity, a world of inequity that impacts human lives, Black lives, lives that are treated like they don't matter, lives that are treated like they matter less than the plaster on the wall that was riddled with bullets before they took an innocent human life. And that is now exacerbated by a pandemic that has taken nearly 1 million lives and devastated over 30 million and everyone who's connected to those lives. And in order to save lives, we had to sacrifice our economic stability. And we are now in what is predicted to be the greatest recession of modern times. You know, oh, somebody pointed out that there's a typo there. It says pandemic, but my bad, you know what it is. You know what I mean? So how do we rise from this? In order to rise from this state that we are currently in, these unprecedented times, we must embrace the opportunity for digital transformation. And like a pendulum, the forces of digital transformation strike us on one side, reverberate through the marbles, and triggers massive changes in our society, what we call social transformation. That social transformation is the pursuit of our best self and our best society. And to achieve this, we must combine the power of the people with the power of business and government. And let's talk about how we can do that. So, what are the needs of the people, right? What are the needs of our great society? They need these things. We need great work. We need great ways to learn and relearn. We need great wellness for our health. And on the other side of that, to support all of that, work, wellness, and ways to learn, we have to rebuild and balance the need for wealth, right? With new business models that leverage the power of digital. I recently joined a community called Clubhouse, and it's amazing. You know, as we're sheltered in place, you know, normally, I work remotely normally, but nowadays everyone's sheltered in place. But my typical style of working remotely would have been going to cafes and going to co-working spaces, but I can't do that now. So I'm on Clubhouse, and we have co-working spaces on Clubhouse where folks pop in and, hey, what are you working on? This is a new business model. This is a new way of interacting, a new way of working, not only with the people that we work with on a day-to-day basis, but also the community around us that we have kind of lost lately with all these changes. And so we also have to reimagine and revive our industries. We have to think about the industries like hospitality, which employed millions of people. Millions of people that often didn't have high levels of education or high levels of credentials. We need those industries. Lots of other industries, we have to be thinking about how we can revive them, how we can use the power of technology and digital transformation and new business models to get that going again. And also inclusive work anywhere. The power of being remote, the power of what we're doing right here, right now, These are all forces that we will use and are using right now to rebuild our wealth infrastructure so that we can redistribute that wealth equally for all the people, with equity for all the people, and include women, include people of African descent, include our Native American brothers and sisters, our Latin Americans, our people who have immigrated to this nation, our people who are in other parts of the world who are relying on our industry to not pollute the earth, to not destroy the earth, and to heal the earth. We can do all these things together. So now I'm going to talk about AI. Y'all ready for that? All right. So some of the things that are really important about leveraging the power of AI is to use it so that you can actually engage with your customers, engage with empathy, having the powerful context of, tools like AI powered scoring, insights, recommendations that are powered by signals and that are powered by signals and insight within that data, so that we can actually connect better with our customers, so that we don't have to worry about, well, what am I supposed to be doing next? When is it the right stage for that? When is it the right stage for that? All that decision-making energy, all of that energy about, trying to figure things out and problem solve, come on, we need to use that in our own lives. So let's repurpose that. Let's use the tools of technology to help us to do our work better and engage with our customers, our partners, our stakeholders, and the people who rely on us with empathy. And how can we do that? There are some tools. There's some technology tools that Salesforce made that can actually allow you to do that. So I'm going to share some of that now. If you're in sales, you can use tools like opportunity and account insights that look at the signals inside of the data and give you little reminders and prompts and nudges to say, you know what? It looks like this opportunity is trending down. This customer has stopped responding, or a C-level has been added to this email conversation. Let's take it to the next level. These are all things that AI can actually do. Normally, we're actually using our very, very powerful brain power to do these things. But like I say, we can actually repurpose, reuse some of that brain power to apply it to innovating our new wealth sectors, to apply that brain energy to creating new business models and reimagining our industries so that we can kickstart this thing again. You see what I'm saying? You follow me? Good. Let's talk a little bit about lead and opportunity scoring. So prioritization is extremely important. And so we need to make sure that we're always focusing on the most important things, especially as it relates to our prospects and our customers. And so lead and opportunity scoring actually uses all the data and the signal in your data to create a score that says this is the likelihood for this prospect to convert to an opportunity, or this is the likelihood for this opportunity to close one. And then you can actually sort those opportunities and sort those leads by that score and engage with the ones that are most likely to close, and the ones that maybe need a little bit more nurturing, that are not quite over that hump yet, not quite over that threshold. You can take those leads, you can take those customers, and you can add them to nurture campaigns so that you can actually help them get ready if they're not ready yet. So let's talk a little bit about how we can use AI to increase productivity. I am a productivity queen. I'm just going to say it. I got the crown on my head. I got 2 kids, right? And I've got all these other missions and things that are important to me. If I'm not productive, if I'm not keeping it going, then I'm going to break down. So AI can also help you increase your productivity by automating the mundane tasks. I'm telling you, I just can't stand doing these things like, creating reports and looking for all these things. Like, I just want, honestly, I'm just like, AI, just give it to me. Just tell me what I need to do. Just, handle that stuff for me. And so, is there a comment there? Okay. And so we have features like predictions. I think somebody might need to go on mute. We have features like predictions and next best actions and smart search that allow you to find things very quickly. If you haven't enabled Einstein search in your org, you should actually check that one out, because you can do things like natural language search, where you can say, hey, I want to find my open opportunities in Oakland, or I want to find my escalated cases that are escalated today. And just type that right in the search box, and boom, you get your list, right? You don't even have to build out those reports. And things like, hey, I want to search for a certain contact. That contact is now surfacing right there in the UI. So you can actually find it. You don't even have to get to the search results page. Like, we're serving you up personalization. We're serving you up the information, exactly what you want, exactly what you're looking for, right on time. Now, that's going to help you increase productivity. That was the Einstein search one. So I just went into that. And the next one I'd say is Einstein Next Best Action. I'm working on this with actually some of our Pep Up Tech students right now, creating experiences that allow you to surface relevant actions to your users. So if you're a new employee and you're going through an onboarding, Next Best Action can actually guide you through that. If you're an employee who somehow is negatively impacted by some sort of incident, whether it is COVID or whether it's you just had a baby, well, these types of tools can be customized and tailored to create journeys and experiences that actually help your customers, your employees, your users, whomever, to have an easier experience, to be guided. I think another area where this is really powerful is actually in the service realm. So being able to identify, hey, there's a customer that's calling, they've got this issue, and we know that when they have this issue, they're most likely going to run into this thing next. So let's be a little bit more proactive. Let's make sure we're sending them the right information. Let's make sure we give them the right training that they need, and support them. Or things like upselling, right? All of that kind of stuff. So let's talk a little bit now about how you can scale your customer experiences. So this is extremely important right now. And actually, I'd love to just share a story of one of our customers who's leveraging this technology very powerfully. So scaling customer experience is all about helping you to quickly resolve issues with, intelligent capabilities like chatbots, voice, automated replies, and knowledge articles. So I'm going to share a little bit about Einstein bots here, because this product has just exploded. If you haven't built a bot, I'm going to say this again. If you haven't built a bot yet, you need to go and build a bot. You need to go and build a bot with Einstein bots, because one, it's easy. Two, it is extremely in high demand. If you're in the Bay Area, I know some folks are actually tuning in from outside, but you probably know about hornblower cruises. You might have taken one of those cruises across the water to go to like Angel Island for a hike, or Sausalito or something like that, or Marin. And that company faced some challenges with COVID, because guess what? People weren't hopping on ferries, right? It's a big problem. So they had employees all across the country that they needed to furlough, but they didn't want those employees to just be gone. They needed to support them. They needed to make sure that they were giving them the support that they need, so that when their industry rebounds, that they can bring those employees back in. So they actually built a bot in 3 days. I'm talking about COVID hit, Hornblower Cruises built a bot in 3 days to support their employees, to make sure that they had access to information like things that were going to help them with homeschooling with their kids. I mean, they really went above and beyond the call of duty, the typical call of duty as an employer, and set a new standard. And with that, they didn't have the manpower to manage all of those questions. They were able to deflect 83% of questions from employees by giving them access to this bot that could actually help them find the information that was what they needed. So I love that story, because I love being on the water, love cruises. I can't wait to we reopened and we're able to do all those things safer than ever before. And then also Service Cloud Voice. So Service Cloud Voice is automatically analyzing conversations and serving you up knowledge and things right up to the agents that are helping customers in real time. Now, I think this is incredibly amazing. And I have a personal story here too. You know, my internet went down on last Thursday. My internet went down. I mean, down. Like it was bad. We could not get it back up. And I called, I'm not going to say who the internet provider was, but we were down all day long. And we finally got to one person who actually worked in billing. And, she was really nicely, she had a Caribbean accent. She said, "Don't worry, we got you. We're going to take care of you." And I was like, okay. She even checked on us to make sure that we were okay due to the fires and everything like that. Really incredible customer service experience. But before we got to her, we actually hit about 5 other service reps that could not help us. Now, if they were using tools like Service Cloud Voice, they would have that guidance for those employees. So if they didn't know what to do themselves, Service Cloud Voice could actually help them identify what's going on and guide them to the right solutions. So these are incredible technologies. A lot of it is new, emerging. Then got your hands on it, go get your hands on it. You know how to do it. Actually, in case if you don't know how to do it, I'm going to tell you how to do it. So it is time for you to become a trailblazer in AI. So who knows how we're going to do it? Type it in the chat. You already know. I want to see them. How are we going to figure out this? How are you going to learn these skills to become a trailblazer in AI? David Bruce says, trailhead. David McClellan says, trailhead. Alexander, Mark, trailhead. Yes, you're going to go to trailhead. Cassiano, what's up? So explore what's possible with Salesforce Einstein. You can actually go to guide.einstein.com. This is actually a really incredible tool that allows you to explore all of these different use cases and the value that they can provide to your business so that you can have an educated conversation with your leaders about why they need to be looking at these tools. You can actually sort things by KPI and explore specific KPIs that you know is important to your business, to your leadership, and identify the features that can actually help improve those particular KPIs, as well as see customer stories that have done it already. So you know that you're not alone. And then, as everyone said, Trailhead, we're going to skill up on Einstein. Go to trailhead.einstein.com. It will take you to our curated trail mix, and you can just hop on in and start learning those things. And you can go ahead and build that bot you've been ready to build. Build that bot. Make it. All right. And lastly, connect with others like you're doing right here in the chat bot. I miss our Salesforce Saturdays community, but guess what? We've got the next best thing. We have the Trailblazer community. So if you want to check out, let's see, it's sfdc.co/Einstein group. That'll take you directly to the Einstein Chatter group where everybody is just like you, figuring out their way through AI, just like you, an expert in AI in the Salesforce platform, just like you, helping organizations, your companies, your nonprofits, your community to thrive in uncertain times with the power of artificial intelligence. And with that, I think I'm just right up at time, and I would love to take questions. Are there any questions out there?
Yes, we
Thanks.
do have some
Yes.
questions. Do you want to go take the first question, Sybil?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. So as we grow, AI capabilities, the person is curious how Salesforce is getting ahead of problems with equity and racism that other large AI systems have discovered after the fact. What do you think?
So you're probably thinking about some of the algorithmic bias that exists in technologies like facial recognition. Is that right? Pop it in the chat, yes, if that's what you're talking about. Well, first of all, I'm I'm really, really proud to work at Salesforce because we had leaders very early on that identified that there were certain things that we really didn't want to get into when it comes to artificial intelligence. So, yes, we do have models that allow you to do image recognition, but we specifically have in our MSA that you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to use those models for facial recognition. And it's probably all sorts of reasons why, but all I can say, that's the way that we do it. So, if you want to do that sort of thing, you're going to have to go to some of those other companies because we don't do those things. The ethical use policies and practices that we have put in place formally in the last few years were in play informally, even prior to building that out those organizations. So we really think about how our customers are going to use these technologies and how they're going to use them to help rather than hurt. As you often have heard Mark Benioff say that, we are about using technology to be a force for good, to allow business to be a way to improve the state of society, the state of our world. And so I haven't run into any of those issues. And specifically, actually, many years back, we had already started working on technologies that would allow us to identify fields in our systems that could be producing bias. For example, identifying gender, identifying things like zip code that can be a proxy for race, identifying fields that identify race, and actually raising those up to the surface so that you can know, hey, let me take another look at this and let me make sure if this is something that we should be including, if it's going to be helpful to our models, or if it could possibly hurt people. And thank you for that question.
Okay, I'll take the next one. Thank you, Ayori, for answering that. The next question.
Also,
Yes.
there is a trail actually on AI bias in Trailhead, because everything's in Trailhead. So check
Yes.
it out, because that's gonna lay it all out for you.
Thank you for that. Get those trailheads, especially that one. How mature is Einstein compared to other AI tools in the industry? And what is the next iteration of Einstein? What does it look like?
Einstein is really designed to allow regular people, right? Regular schmegular degular people to get in there and leverage the power of AI. When we first started Salesforce as a platform, if you wanted to build apps like Salesforce, you had to go and learn C# and .NET and Java and all these other languages in order to build these apps. But we came in with this declarative platform and we democratized the ability to build apps. We've done the same thing with artificial intelligence. We've democratized the ability for people to build AI models without a data science degree, without spending 15 years in top institutions like Stanford and MIT, studying statistics and all these different things in order to be able to build these models. So that's absolutely the core differentiation, is the ability to build AI models with no code or low code. The other thing that is a very clear differentiator is that we're really focused on helping you to build that narrow AI. A lot of companies are out there like, Elon Musk, and his Neuralink, he's saying he's trying to take little chips and stick them in your head and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what they're going to do with it, but that's not Salesforce. Salesforce is about really helping you to connect with your customers, helping you to build relationships, helping you to be there for your customers when they're going through good times and when they're going through tough times. And so everything that you'll see with Einstein is really about helping you do those three things I mentioned before. Engage your customers with empathy, increase your productivity, and scale great customer experiences. So that's absolutely a differentiation, and you're doing all of that with low code, with no code, or low code.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Ayori. Appreciate that.
And we also have a couple questions. I'm going to try to see if I can combine a couple. So one person has been trying for years, and really having a hard time understanding how to implement it. And are there any resources, more in-depth resources for learning bots or maybe AI in general, besides Trailhead or something a little bit more?
Well, I mean, Trailhead is great. Trailhead is great. I wonder if you're having a struggle with Trailhead, give me a ping offline, and because we need that feedback sometimes. But specifically as it relates to building predictions, we actually just released a predictions cookbook. So if you go to Einstein.com, you'll actually see this cookbook, and it just literally just guides you through step by step the process of creating certain types of predictions for your business. Lots of different predictions are listed in there. I think it might be like 25 different predictions that are listed in there, that is walking you through the process of doing. So check that out. And also, one of my colleagues, Rajiv, definitely follow him on Twitter. He produced this incredible segment called Learn AI. So actually, if you go to Trailhead Live and you click on Einstein, you can watch the replay of that, and they walk you through all sorts of things. You're going to see, pep up tech students giving demos and showing people how to build bots and how to use Sales Cloud Einstein and Marketing Cloud Einstein and all those kind of things. So, just get started. If you hit some bumps through the way, like it sounds like this person may have, um, regroup, come back at it again. Give us feedback. Let us know what you're having trouble with. Go to the Trailblazer community, type it in there. Our product managers are in there and are really just looking forward to helping you, looking forward to helping you be successful with AI, because it's going to help our world. So, yeah.
Thanks, Ayori, for that. That was awesome, Jules, there. Appreciate that. Any
Well,
more questions you want to take, Michael?
Yeah, I think we have a couple more here. So, how is Einstein being used out of the box for sale and Salesforce products? I know you kind of gave a little bit of overview of that, but like, what are some other uses for
yeah, so the out of the box features, Einstein search is like the easiest out of the box feature. Like, you literally go into setup, you click 3 check boxes, and all of a sudden your search is supercharged with the power of AI, with natural language search, with the actionable UI, with AI personalization in the background. So it's actually automatically looking at your behavior of what kind of records you click on, what kind of objects you click on, what type of geographies the data that you engage with is associated to. And it's actually adding that level of personalization on top of your search results, so that you can find what you're looking for more quickly. Some of the results from our customers is they found up to, we did some surveys, up to 50% increase in productivity by enabling Einstein search. Also, Sales Cloud Einstein has features like opportunity scoring, lead scoring, opportunity insights. Those are things that you just literally flip the switch and turn it on. And there are some data requirements there. So there's a tool inside of Setup called the Einstein Readiness Assessor. I think if you just go to Einstein, and there's a little link said Readiness Assessor, you click that and it will actually tell you the state of your data and whether or not you have enough data, or your org is configured appropriately such that it can actually leverage those out of the box models. So start there. Hopefully you'll get greens all the way through. If you find out that there's some things that are yellow or red, it will give you advice on how you can fix that. And then you can go ahead and enable those features and start enjoying them.
Very nice. And then there was a question about licensing. I assume that they should work with their account executive from Salesforce.
Yeah, definitely work with your account executives. But if you go to Einstein.com, on the left-hand side, there is a link that says resources. And one of the top things on that page is a it's like a features list. It's a PDF file. Check that file out, because in that file, it actually has several pages that review all of the free Einstein features, the features that you get without purchasing anything additionally or adding any additional licenses. So check that out so you can see what you have for free. And then if you want to add additional things, actually most of Einstein has some sort of freemium model, so you can try it out, like bots. You can build a bot. I think you can build a bot and you have a certain number of messages that is included for free. If you want more volume for your bot, then definitely talk to your account executive and get the pricing for that. Next Best Action has a similar model, and Next Best Action uses Flow, right, in the background. So I know y'all like Flow. Y'all going into that automation hour with Jen, and shout out to Jen. And it's using that, and so automation is huge, right? It's so huge right now. It's through the roof, and that's an opportunity for you to add some intelligence to that automation as well.
Thanks for that, Ayori. I appreciate that. That was awesome information. How we need to scale the customer experience, and using those chat bots is going to be really ideal, especially with AI. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm really excited to hear how you all start applying the technology, especially those in nonprofits that are helping with fundraising, or using these models to predict things like, is a student going to drop out, or are they likely to apply for this grant, or how to help people like solve some of these challenges that are definitely related to creating more equity in our society. So as you go through the journey, we're right there with you, and we can't wait to hear how it's going. And thank you so much for inviting me and having me speak here. You gave me a chance to test out my little new Zoom features. I was up all night working on that. I hope you liked it.
Nice.
Special for Oak Town dreaming.
Yeah.
We enjoyed you being here.
Definitely. So we did have a question about the program that you're using, Ayori. What was that?
Prezi. That's Prezi. It's actually a new feature called Prezi Video. So it's really cool. It's a learning curve. I've spent a lot of time on that one, but I think I nailed it. Did I nail it?
Oh yeah,
you nailed it. You nailed it, definitely.
And then we do have, you have time for, I think we might have time for one more question maybe?
I do, yeah.
All right. So are there any downsides of humans working with AI at the moment?
Downsides? Well, there are downsides of humans just being humans, right? There's downsides of humans working with any kind of technology. And I mean, especially when you start to think about like this idea of human AI symbiosis. Human AI symbiosis actually starts before you even get to AI. It starts with everything that we experience in our environment. So every time we hear a beep, right, that's already being built and reprogramming our nervous system. So we have to really think about the impact that technology has on our health and our well-being, how it can specifically help us. Because a lot of these technologies are triggering the F out of us, like Facebook, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, some of the conversations I have to not have on that platform. It's smart. It knows exactly what's going to get me fired up. So that's AI, right? That's human AI. That's the beginning of human AI symbiosis. So absolutely, there are things that can go wrong. There are things that are going wrong right now. Misinformation is a very bad thing. We're also seeing, however, the use of these same models and algorithms to start predicting what's actually misinformation and starting to create warnings and interruptions to kind of help people wait, stop and think about this. You know what? Actually, I think this article is like 5 years old. Maybe it's not so relevant right now. Maybe I should go see what's the latest news on it. So, so there's a lot of that going on right now. And I think we have to, as a society, we have to start really amplifying what's being done there and showing that we have more demand for responsible use of technology, and especially responsible use of data, responsible use of data collection, responsible use of applying that data, and responsible use of automation and AI that's powered by that data.
Wow.
Hopefully I answered your question.
I think so. I think you answered it.
Yes. Now, there was a coworker you mentioned, Ayori, Rajiv. What is his last name? I think somebody asked that earlier.
Oh, Rajiv Patel. Shout out.
Patel. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Is in the Trailblazer community and So although I won't be talking about Einstein as much as I used to, he is. So definitely follow him. And yeah,
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you so
with
much.
Rajiv.
Oh, thank you.
All right.